Okay, we're going to talk a little bit about playing rhythm guitar for this Mr. Tambourine Man. This way, hopefully at some point, you can play along with the YouTube video. There's only really essentially 3 chords in the song, but there are some slight variations to 2 of the 3 chords. So what we have is we're going to use, for the G chord, we're going to use this 3, then I'm deadening the A string. So we have 3, this one's dead, and then we have open, open, 3, 3. And I'm using the middle finger, the ring finger, and the pinky. And that's the G chord we're going to use. The A chord that we're going to use is just a standard A chord, and in order to get to that, we're just going to slide the ring finger back to the 2nd fret, and then we're going to put the middle finger right above that on the G string 2nd fret, and the 1st finger right above that on the 2nd string 2nd fret of the D string, and that'll be our A chord. Now when we go to the A sus, or the A suspended, we'll just drop the pinky on the 3rd fret of the B string. So we have A, drop the pinky on the 3rd fret of the B string, and we have A suspended, back to A. The D chord will be just our typical D chord, high E string 2nd fret, B string 3rd fret, G string 2nd fret. When we play the D2, we'll lift up the middle finger using the open E, back to the D chord. The D sus, or D suspended, we'll put the pinky on the 3rd fret of the high E string. So what I want you to notice is that when playing all 3 of those chords, the ring finger never leaves the B string. We have the G, which is once again 3, dead, open, open, 3, 3. And then when we go to the A chord, we just slide the ring finger back, stack those fingers on the 2nd fret. For the A suspended, drop the pinky on the 3rd fret of the B string. When we go to the D string, we slide the ring finger back up and drop the other 2 fingers into place. And then when we get back to the G string, G chord, the ring finger just stays right where it is. So those are the chords we'll be using: the G, the A suspended, back to A, and then D, and then back to the G, so on and so forth. Right before the verse of the song is where we have the D to the D2, which is just lifting up the middle finger, back to the D, and then the D suspended, dropping the pinky down. So those are the chords we'll be using to play rhythm to the song. Now the strum that we're going to use pretty well goes throughout the entire song. So let me come over here and explain the strum a little bit. So the thing that you want to keep in mind when you're doing the strum is that the right hand wants to constantly go up and down, like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 Keep it very relaxed and kind of focused over the strings. Okay, but when we actually do the strum, here's what we're going to do. We're going to strum down on 1, 1. We're going to come up, but we're not going to strum on the end of 1. So it'll be 1 and 2 and. So on the 2, we'll strum down and up. So we have 1, 2, and. 1, 2, and. What I want you to notice is when I'm going from 1 to 2, the hand just follows that natural up and down pattern, even though I'm not strumming on the up of the 1. I'm missing on the up of the 1. 1, miss, 2, and. You can even think of it that way. 1, miss, 2, and. 1, miss, 2, and. Okay? The strum in its entirety, and then I'll break it down, is going to sound like this. But what I want you to notice is that the right hand just continues to go up and down. That never changes, and that doesn't want to be forced. That just wants to be completely relaxed. We define the strum by simply whether or not we hit the strings while we're going up and down. So the entire strum will, in the end, sound like this. Okay? So what we're doing is we're strumming down on 1, coming back up, 2, and we're missing on 3, and then coming back up on the end of 3, and then strumming 4, and. So I'll break it down with the misses. So we have 1, miss, 2, and miss, and 4, and. 1, miss, 2, and miss, and 4, and. 1, miss, and miss, and 4, and. 1, miss, 2, and miss, and 4, and. Okay, so that's the strum we'll be using. Said, don't overthink it, because the key is to just keep that going up and down. I'm just going to strum that a little bit more. And what I'm doing, you see I'm damping the strings here? That's so you can really hear the rhythm of the strum. Okay? That's the strum that we'll use through the entire song. Now I'll go ahead and add that strum to the G chord, and let's listen to how that sounds. Okay? Now I'm going to go from the G chord to the A chord. Now that A suspended, always wants to happen on the upstroke of 2, on the end of 2. So from the G, 1, 2, and 4, and. 1, 2, and. And then when we get to the 4th beat, that's when we're back on the A. So if you look at that measure of A sus to A, that's always going to be played the same. 1, 2, and 4, and 1, 2, and 4, and. So that sus is happening on the and of 2 and on the and of 3. 1, 2, and 4, and 1, 2, and 4, and I'm counting it that way so that you can count it that way too. It would be a good idea just to practice that a sus measure over and over again a few times, just to get comfortable for as to when you put the pinky down. So the pinky will, like I said, be on the and of 2 and the and of 3. 1, 2, and 4, and 1, 2, and 4. And. Taking a step back, that's why it's important to have, just be able to play that strum. Just pick any chord. Just hold that G chord for a long time and just practice doing that strum. 1, 2, and 4, and 1, 2, and 4, and 1, 2, and 4, and. Once again with that very relaxed right hand. 1, 2, and 4, and 1, 2, and 4, and 1, 2, and 4. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and play the entire first line. By the way, the chords would start when the singing starts in the song. We have the guitar intro, and where you'd want to start if you're going to play along with the song even at a slower speed, the chords would start when the singing starts, when they start saying, "Hey, Mr. Tambourine Man." Okay? I'm going to play that first line, the G, A sus A, D back to G. Sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll do that again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now when you're going from that G to the A, you don't have a lot of time. That's why we just slide back from the G to the A. We just slide that ring finger back. That's why it's important to keep that down, because you don't have a lot of time. From G to A. Now I'm going to go ahead and play the first 2 lines. 1, 2, 3, 4. Back to the G. Okay? I'm going to do that again a little bit slower if you want to try to play along. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead, since it's basically just repeats, I'm going to go ahead and play it from the beginning down to the letter B in the box. That letter A and the letter B in the box simply delineates the parts of the song. The letter A part is the chorus of the song, and the letter B part will be the verses. Okay, but we're only going to go as far as the A part in this lesson. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and play now the entire A part section. Nice and slow. Once again, the strum is 1, 2, and 4, and 1, 2, and 4, and 1, 2, and 4. the reason I'm not saying in number 3 is because I'm not playing on 3. I'm only saying what I'm playing. That's why I'm not saying 1 and, because I'm not playing on the end of 1. I'm just playing on 1, then I'm playing on 2 and. I'm not playing on 3. I'm playing on the end of 3 and then 4 and. So here goes the entire A section. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, let's talk about those last 2 measures in the A section, the D going to the D2, back to the D, and then the D sus. Okay, as was the case with the A sus, the D2, the chords that are basically the slight variations, they're both happening on the and of 2. So it'd be 1, 2, I can't stress enough how important it is just to have that strum very natural. Realize you're not doing anything special with the right hand. The right hand is just going up and down. Just sometimes it's missing. You can even practice just doing random strums yourself. Try doing just the ups. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. See, but it's critical to keep the hand moving. You can't do just the ups if you don't bring the hand down first. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and you don't want, it can't be jerky. It has to be just a smooth up and down. Sometimes that takes a little getting used to, but that's really the key to a lot of strumming. You know, there are a lot of different kinds of strums, but so many strums are just basically developed from the idea of the hand going up and down on a regular, smooth eighth note, but just sometimes not hitting. And just to review, the strum in this video is down on 1, miss on the up, 2 and, miss on the 3, and 4 and. So if you want to say that in a measure, because you're doing up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up for each measure, that gives you 8 opportunities. If you were to hit on every down, up, you would have 8 strums. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So what we're doing essentially is we are eliminating 2 of them. We're eliminating the up on 1 and we're eliminating the down on 3. But we're still moving the hand through the motion. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay? I'll play one more practice set through the A section for you to practice along with. 1, 2, 3, 4. That would take us into the B section. So, let me know if that needs some clarification. If not, I'm going to assume it's clear. But I am more than willing to make additional videos and give additional clarification. I think you're well aware of that. So, it's important when working on the song, we're working on an arrangement, which is fun. This way you can play along, kind of do your own guitar arrangement. But it's also, you want to develop your rhythm playing. And these simpler kind of songs are actually great devices for developing your rhythm playing. Okay? So that's why I'm choosing to do that. So I'll wait to hear back from you if there are any issues.